What's up, everyone? This is Marcus at TradeSmith, and I'm going to show you a new program that I joined called Warrior Trading Pro, and that is a program that I am in. Been doing for 6 weeks, and I'm going to show you exactly what I plan to do with this small account challenge. So today is another base hit day. I didn't get a chance to hit that home run, which I'm still waiting on, but I am focused on building a small account. I did hit my weekly target last week, and I'm really trying to hit the goal of getting my account to be above 2,500 so that I have, I think, 6-time leverage or something. So that's about $15,000 that I'm hoping to get. But the goal is to be able to just, again, work this account up to the point where I can increase my share size and I can make bigger positions, which will in turn make more money and build my account. So I'm just taking it easy. I'm just going to hang in there until I can really get a handle on day trading. So another base hit today, $93. I had basically traded a stock called Marathon. But again, I'm seeing the same thing. I looked at the high, the gappers for the day, and then I saw the high day Momo scanners, seeing the same trend. Most of the high gappers, they're definitely fading at the beginning of the day. DDST, which is Data C, pre-market made a pop, and I was watching it. Pre-market, didn't want to trade pre-market today just because it's the early beginning of the week. Just want to see what the market does. Again, on Monday, I just really want to hit a base hit. I did my studies and trade review. Noticed that on Tuesdays is more of my peak day. So maybe tomorrow I hit a home run, maybe not. I'm open, whatever the market gives me. But you can see that it faded. And then also, I think it was HIHO. It also was something that faded. It gave a little pop in the beginning of the day, and it faded. So let's look at the live trade that I made. I know that I may have to cut in and out of it because I was just in the trade for a long time. Very patient. Really just bought Marathon, starting in the $3.60 range. Just trying to see if it's going to hit the $4. It did make a move later in the day. Well, not later in the day. It's still early even now. But it made a move late in the day that I normally trade. I normally only trade for about an hour. But we noticed that it faded in the beginning as well. And then it started to make a reversal. And I noticed that it began to really go through a consolidation period. And what I did is, when it came on that first pullback, this is when I saw it on my high day Momo scanner. So I started watching it. I did get in one trade here. Then I think I got into another trade here on the way up. And I just basically took advantage of that first pullback. Again, I'm looking for the first or second pullback of each stock. Again, these are normally stocks that are gapping going, but that I want to get in, but the market didn't give me that. I either had the option to start using another tool in my trading toolbox, which is dip trading, but I don't want to do dips right now. I just don't have the confidence. I need to do some more training on it. I am working more on swing trades right now, as well as trying to learn options, but I didn't spend the weekend learning dip trading. So I'm happy with just a base hit and day trading, $93. I'm going to look at the trades now and show you what exactly happened. As you can see, I started looking at Marathon when I saw that it was testing a high of day of $3.66. So I started getting interested and really started to set my target of where I wanted to get in, which is at I think 662. But I wanted to wait and watch it a little bit and see what it does. So you can see that I got my order entry set and ready to go for 300 shares. So looking here, you can tell that I'm looking at a potential bull flag pattern. I'm concerned a little bit about the top and tail, but I do see some strong buyers in the market, and really wanted to understand what may happen at that 359, 358 mark, especially when there's a big seller that's about to get eat up. So I want to position myself to be ready to buy. A minute later, I noticed a small pullback, and I want to get in at a lower price, so I'm constantly looking in what would be a good entry. So I want to get it at a discount. Some places I felt like I was getting a little too greedy. I wanted to get in at 350 or even less than 350 and maybe see if it tests the $4 mark. But at this point, it seemed like it started to leave me. As my hand is on the buy button, I noticed that I needed to make a decision at some point. I let it pass me on the first one. I should have got in at that 350. Felt a little bit bad, but I reset my target price. Once I knew that the stock was not going to wait on me, I began to set my range. I knew if it break 366 or 365, I need to get in. This was my chance of seeing me get it at a discount, and I noticed that it was holding solid at 360, 359. Wanted it to wait. I wanted to wait until it came back to 350s, but got in at 364 on the first trade. As you can see, the stock begins to slowly grind up. So it grind from that 364 mark. And from there, I'm just looking at level 2, keeping my eyes on the number of the share size of the sellers. And I'm looking at time and sales to see if it is flashing more green than red. I am looking at that 75 mark because I noticed that that is where you have a potential big seller that is there. And I'm also looking at the buyers and seeing them step up and purchase. So I was a little bit nervous because it did consolidate a little bit, but really I'm just keeping my eye on that level 2. For those of you who are not familiar with level 2, and it's at that $75 mark, that is where you can see the sellers and the buyers, and you can see the buyers step up and they're potentially purchasing some of those heavy tickets that you see that are there, or heavy orders that are there. But time and sales, which is right to the right of it, you can see the actual transactions happen. So this is basically looking at the bull pit, so to speak, and see what people are buying and selling. See that there's a major seller at 380, and I'm just looking to see if they get bought up. And I did see that they got bought up, so I stayed within the trade. And just took a little bit of a profit once I started seeing difficulty in the buyers taking up those shares. Now I look at the share size constantly to see if it's going up or down. So whenever it hit that mark, so if it's a big ticket or a big share, I want to see that it goes from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 to 60, all the way down. And you can see when they're getting bought up, that is a good sign. But you can see also on the other end is when they start struggling. So when they start struggling and you see the share size increase on the ads, that is when you know you need to pay yourself. And you can see that I paid myself, and I eventually went ahead and just, got out of that first trade. So I got out of that first trade with $61. And that's kind of basically telling the story of my day. Later, I got right back in at 81 for a test of $4. Now, I feel like that was a little bit premature. I was looking for the 1 minute candle to make a new high, but I really should have focused more today on 5 minute setups, which I could have waited on, but I noticed that I pushed in, and got in too early, but I did want to hold and just see, because I don't want to go in and out of a trade unless I really have to. So I just decided to hold so that I don't have to pay any more brokerage fees for another trade when I want to get back in. So I wanted to weather the storm. It did not really make a big move up or down. It just consolidated. And I just held out and I looked at other stocks while I was waiting on it, but definitely had to have my patience there. Okay, and waiting some minutes later, I noticed that the 5 minute pattern had began to eventually set up, and I saw that it was breaking that 383 mark. So I think I did add another 300 shares just for good measure going into it. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think I did. Yeah. I bought 300 and then I added another 300. So I was in 600 shares, hoping that it rips through the $4 mark, but I noticed that it's still a slow grinder, which this was probably the only grinding stock going upward during this time. Again, the market seemed to be, it was taking a dip at this moment. So I wanted this to be my last trade, and I just waited until it actually grind up. And again, I'm looking at level 2 to know when I need to get out of this trade. And I noticed that there was just, there's a buyer that is here at 82. So that shows a level of support. As the, confidence began to build on the buyers, I noticed that the sellers were just getting eaten up at this point. And of course, I did want to wait until they hit some level of resistance. And that is when I wanted to get out of the trade. I could have got out at 95, which would have been a good $120 profit for the day. But I was a little bit late, hoping again that it breaks the $4 target that I had set. But eventually it never did. And I decided to go ahead and just pay myself and close out the day with $93. Again, looking back, I could have just went ahead and just paid myself a little bit later. I'm going to look at the tape, look at the video of this and see where I could have done better for that trade. But again, the hopes was for it to resolve a $4 move. And once it breaks $4, I would have sold immediately. But that is where I decided to buy out the trade. So that concludes my day. I hope you really enjoyed watching that live trade. Again, I like going over the trades similar to when I played college football, just to look at the tape, look at what's going on, see what I did right, where I got lucky, what I did wrong, and see how I can become a better day trader. So if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll be doing more videos of this small account challenge, as well as we'll go through some of the detailed technology that you can see in order to be a day trader. This is a new channel. For more tips and tricks on trading technology, hit the like button and go to TradeSmith.io.